And the volume is low. Let's fix that. Blue. No, there we go. Nope, messed up. Here? Nope. Check. Nope, too low. Hello. Nope. Check. Nope. Testing. That looks fine. Okay, here we go. Now we're ready. Let me just make sure we got this. Upcoming, huh? Okay, it is going. All right. Well, okay, live. Excellent. Let's get started. All right, it's time for our daily puzzle rush of not getting to 50 despite trying. Uh, oh, black to move. I get a free piece. They get a queen? Wow, this is very interesting. So I get the piece. They get the queen. I go here, check. They go down, and we win. What a bizarre first one. Yeah. All right, this looks like just straight up back row mate. Nothing special, just blunk back row mate. Here, we're seeing the king is really cut off. So if the king is so cut off, we should be able to do it. Fred Foxy is back. No disc golf today. You're on your way home from arm wrestling practice. Okay. Fred Foxy leads a very interesting life. Arm wrestling practice. That's cool. Do you do arm wrestling as a sport or as a way to exert your dominance in like bar settings? Those are like the two things I know of arm wrestling. Maybe there's other elements as well that I don't know. Those are the two big ones that I know of. From movies, of course. Okay. This king can only go here. But we don't have a way to check it. But the rook is hanging. If we take the rook, we're threatening mate on this square and on this square. I don't think they can stop it. They don't have a check for us. So it looks like we're just going to take this piece and be threatening mate. And this is that chess.com mate where you take, push him to the back rank, and then deliver the back rank check. As a sport. That's cool. What does arm wrestling as a sport look like? Like, is it a thing where there's like divisions, and when you win divisions, you work your way up? Is it by weight class? Is it by like accomplishments? I can imagine how a number of ways it could work, but I don't know how it works. Queen the face mate? That seems good. We've got this check here, and the knight is cutting off the only escape square, and then when the queen blocks, we take the queen. Also, last night, just putting this out there, I played an international master last night, so that was fun. Now it was a simul, so I can't get too excited about my greatness here. I paid to play an international master. All right, so I've got this check. They only have one move, and then I think we probably just go here to F3. And then they can only interpose, and then we just take. Okay. Okay, let's see here. It looks like it would be one of these. We're covering this rank. We go here, we push him back, and then we go back to the last rank and mate. But that is not what's happening here. Not at all what's happening here. Because these two rooks are both causing us trouble. But I guess what we could do is something clever, where we go here, rook h7, push the king back to any square. Actually, probably they'll go here. Then we'll go to h8, the king moves, and then we get one of the rooks guarding the other rook. So it's a very clever idea to win a rook. We don't get a mate, but we win a rook, and we'll take that. They're amateur tournaments and professional ones. I am an amateur. All right, cool. Sounds fun. I don't think I would be good at it. My wrists are not super strong. I feel like, I don't know, I think it's too much mouse time or something. This is kind of a weird one. Our opponent is actually threatening mate in 1. And the check we have is actually parried by this knight. And then we don't have a follow-up check even. And these pieces are guarding each other, and the knight is guarded. So there's no hanging pieces, there's no mate. I'm quite confused. But I think I found it. So if we go here, and we go queen e1, and they block with the knight, we actually have this check here on f2 because our knight is backing it up. And then when the king moves, then we take the knight. So this is a very clever one. I like it. I had to really work to find that one. Okay, this looks pretty easy. It looks like we just have this, right? We invade with the queen and win. So let's make sure that works. We go queen f7, king has to move over, and nothing is guarding that square. So we have the win. This is another one of those chess.com mates where you go here and push him to the back. And there's a lot of other stuff happening in this position, right? There's like this weird looking knight. There's this bishop, but we don't care about any of it. We ignore it all, and we just come in and checkmate them. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. In 5 moves, our opponent has a queen. But that gives us 5 moves. So what if we go push here? 1, 2, 3, 4. Doesn't come with check, so it's a little bit weird. Then we also have here 1. Well, I guess that one doesn't count, actually, if they go there. And then 4. So we will beat them by 1 to get the queen, but it's kind of a weird situation. It's like, okay, we're going to get our queen first, but they're going to be pretty far down here. And this really probably is going to be important. The obvious move is just take the pawn. But I think there's going to be the situation of like where our king is when all this happens. So we need to be very careful now. So after, let's say we were to take, and they move their king, let's say here. And then we go 1, 2, and they go 1, 2. And so their pawn is on this square, and we just queened. How do we stop the pawn from queening? And so, in fact, maybe when the king moves, they're going to go here so that we can't go to this square with our queen to threaten to stop the pawn. So does it matter where our king is? And I think maybe it does. I think maybe what we want to do is bring our king closer so that when the king goes here to b7, we can come down check. If the king tries to move up here, we now actually have this check here. Yeah, so I think we want to move our king over. Son of a... I hate these ones where it's like, you know the answer, and then there's like some little tiny nuance. Somehow that's better than the other way. Like, I don't understand. Okay, whatever. That felt like a really cheap loss. Like, we clearly got it right. Oh well. So queen here is mate. Got that one. Got some interesting stuff. The king's cut off. The king's cut off. So we could go here, check. King moves, check. The king can actually go to g7, double attacking us. So what do we do about that? Check. There. 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 Oh, we got their queen. But is that enough? What is even the material count here? So we are down a queen, and they are down a piece. Okay, so if we get a rook and a queen for a piece, that is a good deal for us. Okay, so we don't have to go for mate. I thought we were going for mate, but we're just getting back our material, and that's totally fine. Also, membership is now available on this site, on YouTube. There are, it looks like there are some emojis here. There is a button to show support. Ooh, I can start now a poll. Okay, let's start a poll, actually. I want to start a poll here. Create a poll. The question is... Oh, the only choices are... Okay, no. What resource should I review next? I'm trying to figure out which one to review next. The choices are going to be Chess Tactics from Scratch. The other choice could be Endgame Strategy by Shereshevsky. And then the last one, and this is the one I'm leaning towards, is the Checkmate Patterns Manual. Yeah. Okay, so those are going to be the three choices. So, we're going to have this one up. We will see if people fill out the poll, and if so, which one wins. All right, let's get back to our task at hand here. King, very, very cut off. And I was looking at like, ooh, queen checkmate, but that doesn't really work, right? That's going to be covered by the rook. But this check right here is backed up, and it looks like it just immediately wins. Okay, we got some votes. Let's see what we got here. Ooh, no, I don't want to end the poll. I want to see the poll. Ooh, it's tied between Chess Tactics from Scratch and Endgame Strategy. No one voting for the one that I was planning to do. So, okay, that's interesting. That's okay. If not, I can always do that another time. Okay, so interesting stuff. We have a kind of standard pattern of queen e2, pushing the rook away, taking and taking. And I was like, ooh, I don't know that we want to trade, but that's not just a trade. That actually ends in a win because the king has been pushed away, so we're doing a back row mate. I was immediately drawn to this because also this rank is cut off, but the whole back rank is available. But no. Because they can't escape this way, they can't come out this way. So when we check on h3 and the king goes back to g1 and says I'm fine, they're not fine because we come back and check on b1, and now the escape square here is cut off and they're stuck. They can, of course, give up this rook, but we don't mind that. We don't mind that at all. Okay, we've got this check here, and we have this check here. This one does nothing, but this one, because the queen is cutting off so many squares, actually delivers checkmate. So we'll take it. Okay, this looks like it should be easy. We've got queen in the face mate, but it's being guarded. So what if we take? If they take back, it's mate, of course. If we go here, they actually can't even push g3 because there's a further pin. So I don't see anything they can do. They can do that, of course. That does nothing. And then queen in your face, mate, for the win. All right, I'm of course drawn to this, right? There's a battery here. So we have to at least look at it. If we play queen takes g7 and they play king e6, the rook comes in behind. This pawn does a great job holding everything together. So that's mate. So what we really have to do is look at what if king to e8. And this looks hard because we can go here on h8 and get a free rook. But this queen is going to be able to interpose. So then the question is, if we put a rook here, we will win the queen. Queen takes, takes. And then we have queen for all three of these pieces. But I guess the king has to move, and then we get this. So it works. It's a very convoluted sequence here. Okay, so they're not going for the convoluted sequence. They're going to go for something else. Okay, I guess I didn't see this. So rook here. If they move anywhere, we will be able to pick up this bishop. Is that nearly enough when you're down this much material? I mean, what else do I have, really? So we're going to start here. And we might be able to pick up the queen also. So we go here. Yeah, it's going to be hard to pick up the queen. I was trying to find a way to do something like that, but that's not going to work. So let's say rook c8. The only move that looks promising for them is either king b5 or king b6. Either way is actually met with this little trick. So this works very well. Okay. They just lost a lot of material is all. Okay. Still only have 2 votes. So if you're coming in, there's a poll up. Take a look at it. Which resource should I review next for the site? I'm immediately drawn, of course, to queen f7. It's the most forcing move in the position. The opponent only has one move. King h6. But it doesn't even look like I can check them from there. And we're down a piece. So yes, queen f7 does win a bishop if we want. Oh, and actually that's probably the move. So we go here, they go king h6, we win the bishop, they can come back, but then we go there for the mate. Okay. That's funny. So winning the bishop was key, not to win the bishop, but to get the mate. Oh! Endgame Strategy has taken the lead. That is one of my very favorite chess books ever. It's so good that I'm probably going to be making a chessable course inspired by it. Basically, endgame strategy for newer players. Taking what I think are the most important concepts for beginning players and sort of boiling them down. What are we doing here? What are we doing? There is a series of checks we could do anywhere along here. But do any of them really gain me anything is the question. It's like, okay, I check. So what? They move. They don't have a lot of options, I will say this. The king's pretty cut off. So the only choice will be to go here. And then I suppose if we could check it all in the back rank, we would win. So can we find a way to do that? Like, let's say we go check, moves over, takes. The problem is they're going to move the knight. And then the rook will be guarding against all of those checks. Is there something more pressing? We could go this way. Check. Same issue. And then we go here. And now we either take this guy or take that guy to do the mate. But it requires a quiet move. And so the question is, do we get mated in the meantime? So let's figure that out. Let's say they check. We go here. And yeah, we should be fine. All right. So let's do it. Okay. I was pretty darn sure this was right. Is it here? No. Okay, let's try the other check. No, so it's none of the checks. It probably just takes immediately. Nope. What? thought I tried all the checks. Okay. But then the problem is after this. Okay, so it's not that. What? I don't know. This is the most I've ever been stumped. Oh, right. And then we just come in and mate. What? That's not really that hard. How did I make this so hard in my head? I think because I was thinking, oh, and if they come back, then we go there. Wow, I made this much harder than it had to be. I had all these cool ideas, and it was basically just super simple. D4, yeah, Randall's got it. Randall's got it. Well done, Randall. I don't know what happened there. Yep. I don't know. I just, there were so many cool things you could do in there. I lost. I got lost in the possibilities, I guess. These are the first two moves I'm looking at. So rook takes g6 looks more promising. No, it does not, because the king escapes to f7. Whereas if we go queen g6, there is no escape. They have to interpose with the queen, and then we just take. Okay. We do have this idea, the cool discovery attack. I don't know that that does enough. But we might not have any other choices. Because we don't have any... Like, the king's pretty safe, so we can't just assault it. The pieces are all kind of loose, but it's unclear how we're double attacking them with the king so safe. Like, we could do something like this. Queen e2 and be double attacking, but they could just, I don't know, move over. And we are also a little bit vulnerable here. Okay, so let's see if the cube move works. So takes the rook. The problem is the checks. Moves. Alright, I'm going to do it. I think the cube move works. But before I do that, do I want to check first? I could go here or here to check. If they go back, then this guy is pinned. Or they go there. That's a hard choice. I think both are good, but it might be one of those puzzles where only one is good. I'm just going to take right away. Okay. That's a weird move. I guess what we do is go here and force the queen trade. But we're only up in exchange. It's not like it's that much. I suppose I could just take the knight, right? Sure, let's just take the knight. Let's just take the knight. You didn't get lucky. You got skillful. Well done. Well done, Randall. Alrighty. Wow. Wow, there is a lot happening on our monarch here. I'm looking at takes, rook to e8, attacking their queen, essentially giving us a free move, which will give us time to pick up the knight. So that's what we're looking at here. Now we pick up the knight. Okay. Okay, weird one. Our opponent has really not developed well this game and left this gaping series of dark squares. I'm looking at queen a5 double attacking these two. What is the material like? 4, 4. So the material's pretty even. So if we could just win that bishop, we'd kind of be in business. But we don't actually win the bishop because the knight is backing up. So I think this is this pattern where you take first, to lure something into the double attack, then you double attack, and then you win the piece. That's a pretty common thing that comes up in my chessable course, actually. I used that theme a few times. I feel like it's really a memorable, important theme. What a weird position this is. Our opponent is destroying us. And it doesn't really look like we're ready to win. Like, if we go here and make a queen, they actually can block with this rook. Okay, I guess then we could... No, we can't pop out there because the queen would take us. So maybe we take the queen first. Man. No, I don't think we take the queen first. I think we need to check them first as our first move. So let's say... Make our queen check. Rook blocks. The queen could come down to here on c5 to put another check on. Yes, and then we get this cool geometry where we go here, 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 here to end up with the win. Okay, that's nifty. Nifty stuff. We're at 28 with 2 misses somehow. That is kind of shocking. It looks like, don't we just have queen in the face mate here? We do. Okay, sounds good. Here, it's interesting. So the king is pretty cut off. I'm looking at checking on c2. They move, and this is kind of a Saturn pattern. But in this spot, they would just take with the king. So that doesn't look as good. It's important to notice all this. So I could check here. They could only go there. I could check again from behind because the bishop is backing it up, and then that would win the queen. So I think that is enough. We don't have to get a mate here. It looks like we're not going to. Instead, we're just getting a queen. That's all. Just a queen. Queen f7 looks very strong at first glance. It would be hard to imagine that that is not the answer. They do go king d8. We don't have an easy way to just bring on the mate. We don't have that many pieces developed. If we go bishop a5, which looks like the obvious choice, they get to play b6 and block it. So then it's kind of like, okay, now what? Now what? Interesting. I'm not seeing the follow-up here. Maybe, let's see, what is the material like? Material's even. The queen looks precarious. So can I take advantage of this queen somehow? I'm looking at maybe, say, bishop c3. Doesn't look like it. It looks like the queen has lots of squares it could go, and I could chase it, but it's not. It has plenty of squares. I don't think that's the answer. The answer might be, though, repositioning the bishop off of the queen's exposed situation to make so after we take on f2 and the king goes to d8 that we can actually deliver mate then. Yeah, well, that doesn't work either. What I was looking at is... No, is that what I was looking at? No. I wanted the bishop here. That does not work. Also, the bishop would not work there. Okay. Queen takes f2. King d8. Let's say we take with the knight. On e6, they have to take back. And now, does that change things? It does, because now we could check from the other side. We could check from g5. that I think leads to mate. Okay. So I think we found it. Okay. Good. Good, good, good. You're thinking queen takes f7, king d8, knight takes e6, d6, then g5. Yes. Good job, Randall. You are on a roll. Oh, Chess Tactics from Scratch has evened it up in the poll. All right. This is a weird one because we can take advantage of this kind of stuff, but the knight's actually guarding it. So how do we do this? Like, if I guess this works. If I go here, check, king moves, I take the knight, and you might be thinking, well, that doesn't work because they take our rook, but then we come back and take our rook. So this should work. Bloop. Okay. So 32, black to move. The king once again, very vulnerable. Nowhere I can even move. I'm looking at here to put on the final check since the king can't move at all. Here doesn't work. Here doesn't work. So yeah. Coming around this way and getting the mate. Alright. We got 33. You're learning from the best. You're learning from someone who's mediocre. Okay, got it. Let's see. I don't know, is this strategy, Randall, helping of kind of walking through the different elements of each of these tactics? This is what I wanted to look at, but there's nothing backing it up, right? I just kind of assumed there would be, but there's just not. And then the other thing with this position is there's nothing really loose or hanging. Like, these are backing each other up. The king's backing that up. The queen's got this. The pawn's backing up the knight. So there's not, like, easy stuff. I'm now seeing something. There is a showdown happening. So if you've seen my chessboard course, you know that I talk about the showdown where two pieces are staring at each other, but there's something in the middle. And so this pawn is in the middle. So the pawn is pinned. So if we were to take here, they can't take back because they would lose the queen. But they could take with the rook. Now let's say we take with the queen. They take back and we win their queen, but then they win our rook back. And so in the end, it's even. So there's something here that I think is involving all of those themes that I'm just not quite putting together. And we can deflect this rook away. So we can start by going here. It's check, so it's very forcing. They have to get deflected, and then we win the piece. Okay, fascinating stuff. Had to put them all together. I do enjoy watching the thought process. I've been motivated recently to do Puzzle or Survival, and it's been helping. Awesome. Oh, and I picked up the Chestnut Pro board recently and am loving it. Good to hear. Yeah, if you have the resources, A, that's number one, right? You have to have the resources. And then B, you have the time to be able to play longer time control games on it. It's a very nice tool. I definitely have been liking it as well. Check. Let's give us the most generous version. They take, allowing our queen in. Then they move back. Then the rook is in. And I don't know exactly where the mate is, but that's going to be a mate. That's a really strong idea. But what if we take and they just say, no, 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 no. I don't want to mess around with this. I'll just go here. No, better yet, I'll go here. Is it suddenly not worth it? I think it's probably still worth it because we can bring the queen in behind. I think it's going to be one of those things we take here and it's just going to go bloop. No. Okay, well, they went that way. All right. Well, if you go that way, then you're dead. Wait. Hold on. Why was I thinking I could just stick the rook there? Okay, well, that clearly does not work. That square is not backed up. For some reason, I was thinking it was backed up by the queen. Okay, well, there is this check. but they move out of the way. It's now what? Okay, what there is, though, is this idea. And then this idea. And then this idea. So, yeah, so this should work. We're able to, yeah, they feel compelled to give up the queen. Okay, nice. 35. Okay, if we can at least get 40 and salvage this disaster, I think I can be okay with that. And it looks to me like this should be a situation where we come over, scoop up these pawns, and then whenever we want, we can push these by and the king will not be able to stop them. So we come over, wait, where do I go there? Here, or does it not matter? Probably this would be the way to go. Son of a... I guess I probably should have calculated that more carefully. It just looked so intuitive. Like, how could this not be right? Okay, so the answer is... the answer is that. Because now the king is not in the box. And then if they try to run, we're still in time. Whereas, in the way I was thinking, I'm coming over first. Then the king comes over. The king will be able to get in the box. But I was thinking, so what? So I go here. King here. I go here. King here. I go here. King here. The king can never leave the side of this. I want to look at this with the engine. I think mine was right. I'm very shocked to see that my plan doesn't work. All right, that's right. I had to take here even. Oops, right. Yes, we had to come back. Ugh. Put that on the wrong square. Okay. Okay. So I think this was their move. Okay, so the only move that works is taking. My plan, let's see why it doesn't work, because it sure seems like it works. Yeah, I'm just going to completely ignore this and go for this pawn. Okay, you take. I'm fine with that. I'm taking. Why aren't I taking? Oh, it's their move. Oh, that's why. That's why. So if what they did was come this way and let me take this pawn, well, then I win. My plan works great. All the things I said are true. If they ever come down here, whatever, I can even push this and let them just like tuck themselves here. I go scoop up this pawn, and then I just come back at my own leisure. And if they ever try to make a beeline for this, well, then it's only 3 moves away from queening. I'm faster. What I missed was they don't do that. They go here. And now I'm in the exact same spot. So if I try to go here to eat this pawn goes. And if I just go here and say, well, then I'll just babysit them, well, that's fine. Then they just come down and they just babysit my pawns. And we're just at a stalemate. So it's a draw. So that is what I missed. Very upset. Have I tried Lichess version of Puzzle Survival? Yes, I'm sure I have. I've tried all Lichess things. They're all great. Yeah, I would say this. I would say if I had started my journey solely on Lichess, I'm not sure I would have ever picked up chess.com. I'm not sure chess.com offers enough that Lichess doesn't offer to offset the fact that it's free. But chess.com, at least with me, very much benefited from the name, right? I got into chess.com. I established my all the chess ratings that I'm worried about, my puzzle history, all of that is on chess.com. And so for me, switching to Lichess would essentially be like losing, at this point now, 4 years worth of progress. That is harder to track across the different platforms. And that's why I stay. That's really the bottom line. I think Lichess is awesome. I use their studies all the time. Lichess is amazing. So it's a really interesting situation where I feel like that is personally for me why I use chess.com over Lichess. I don't think it's a quality thing. Okay, there is one other reason. The rating inflation thing on Lichess makes no sense to me. The one on chess.com is much closer to my USCF rating, and so I don't know what the Lichess rating means. And if I don't know what the Lichess rating means, then why am I bothering with it? So I really wish they would fix that and just be like, hey, we're gonna have a rating system that matches all of the other ones in the world, and then everything's the same. But to have to be like, okay, let's see, my Lichess rating minus 300 equals this. It's like I don't want to have to do all that. I don't even know. So that actually is a big stumbling block for me as well. Okay. The Puzzleware Survival's over. I think I have time to play one Blitz game before we head out of here. And then I'm going to have to call it for today. I've got some stuff I got to do. Ooh, okay, we're going to get the black side here. All right, here we go. Some Queen's Pawn. And if you guys want, actually, I could probably show you my game against the IM if you want to see it. Randall, thanks so much for stopping by, man. Really appreciate it. Hope you enjoyed yourself. Yeah, I've been going here now. And then here. So that they don't have the option of moving my bishop to a square. I don't want it. Oh, okay, that's interesting. So we're going to go there. I don't see that very often. I think I probably need to go here then. To stop that idea of c4. c5, that is. Okay. Now I'm going to play c5. And yeah. Okay. Oh yeah, I guess it is a little bit different than how it normally is. Maybe I shouldn't have done that. I was thinking with this bishop over here, I definitely do this move. But maybe I was supposed to do it a little bit differently. So I think I'm going to end up with an isolated pawn here. Which maybe that's okay. But it certainly wasn't how I drew it up. So I'm down a piece. And they're hitting my piece. So I think I have to take back. And then they take there, and now I've got an isolated pawn. Okay. Well, it's good practice playing with them. I'm really bad at playing with isolated pawns. So let's see if we can improve that. This looks promising to cut off castling opportunities because they can't go here. I normally wouldn't put my bishop here, but it just looks like the right spot. The opponent also is taking almost no time with 3 minutes left. That's a lot. Okay, so they blockaded the pawn, and they can go there. So, seems like a good move. Let's go here. Put our piece on the open file. Okay, so now they can castle. Yeah, I'm going to go here. So I'm threatening that. Okay, and I'm also threatening this. I don't know if this works. The idea here is to get rid of this pawn. So I don't have to continually babysit it all game. And I'm going this way so that they can't go here and pin me. They could go there and pin me, but that seems less bad. I'll go where? Let's go here. And now we're putting another attacker on that, and it's check. So that's kind of annoying for them. That didn't work out super well for me. There's this. There's lots of stuff happening here. Can I take advantage of any of it? I'll go here. That looks like a weird spot. Not quite sure why. It just doesn't look right. Oh, no. I had this. I don't know if it would have worked there. But it had been there for a while. So there might have been something there that I missed. We go here. This is now in some trouble. Okay, they didn't rectify it. That that's interesting. So I can go here, I think. Put some more pressure on. That doesn't actually work super well. I think it's fine, though. I would take and then take. Okay, so they finally backed it up. Takes. Yeah, I think I'm going to do this. This messes up their pawn structure a little bit. It's not a lot. Certainly not enough to win. But it's something. Ooh, and I also have that discovery still. Can I do something with it? Last chance. Not really, but I can go here. Oh, yeah, I did not like how that worked out at all, actually. Okay, I'm going here. Okay. That doesn't work. That does work. Okay, but I can go here. Oh, that's annoying, actually. Go here. Okay, that should be game. We hope. Okay, now that guy's pinned. If they don't break the pin, I get to go there. Okay. And now at least that bishop can't just kind of chill in the middle of the board looking all happy. I don't know if that works. I've got this idea. Okay, well I can also just come back around. All my pieces are on lights. All my pawns are on light squares. Interestingly, all of theirs are, but look at this. I get to dislodge them. They have to pick one to lose. So this should be... Okay. I guess I could do that. I'll go here. I'm going to move that up, probably. Oh, that's a very odd choice. Okay. Here. Try to lure the king over. Nope. I think I do like the idea of making this a passer. There's nothing they can do about it. And then I can pick up another pawn. Now they're in pretty big trouble, I would say. Push him away. Bring the king up a little bit. Let's make another passer. Let's go here. Then check. I don't know about that. That might not have been good. Ooh, that won't work actually. No, that works fine. They're gonna check me. That's okay. And then I get to go here, push the king back farther. Okay, I'll just keep pushing the king back. There, here, and now we're threatening mate. Boop. Okay, that was a nice clean game. Might have made some mistake there in my 65 moves, but it felt pretty good. Oh, okay, we got some comments I missed. Sorry about that. Let's see. It means you're on the road to 2200, which is really 1850. I know, Peter. That has been the funny thing about the road to 2200. Saw the fork and a nice technique. Yeah, so the computer says I played 89%. Was never losing. There were 2 moments where I made mistakes, and I played like a 2150. The 2150 thing is irrelevant. Here, okay, so this is a mistake. This is me not fully understanding what was happening. I don't even know what the right move is here. Let's put on the engine. So the right move is just to continue the plan of castling, and then if they go here and play c6, then I can do things like a5, but I didn't want to have to deal with all of that. So I went here to try to prevent that issue. And then immediately I'm fine because they made a mistake. They should have just taken. And then if I take here, they can come here. So that I can't patch things up that way. Okay. I guess I can see how it would be kind of annoying. I don't see how it's that big of a mistake, but it's definitely not optimal. And then this, you know, it's tough. I've got an isolated pawn here now, and what am I going to do with it? Okay. Just improving my pieces. Improving more pieces. And then the computer's not like that. They're like, you're giving up this amazing bishop for nothing? You can just push the pawn now, which I did not think I could do, by the way. It's backed up. They're attacking it 3 times, and it's only backed up twice. To me, this is pretty obvious. I can't do this. Then I can go here and hit it again. Got it. And then if they try to just push it, that does not work because of what? It doesn't work because of this? Okay, yeah. And then if they were to take, we got... Oh, yeah, we would take the queen, right? I was saying we would take the queen with the queen. Okay, all right. I guess that's reasonable. So I messed up thinking I had to do this first to be able to achieve equality. And then here, I don't have this idea. Good. Because the bishop can just slide back in and block it. I was a little worried I had missed that. Yeah, okay, so I never had missed that. The bishop could always do that. And now it's just an even game. Whereas playing an even game, this was me trying to make one single little weakness in their position that I could then latch onto. The computer's like, you know, it doesn't matter. Your message got deleted? Okay, that's weird. I don't know why your message would get deleted, my friend. I don't see anything on here about your message being deleted. You meant 2200 Lichess is 1850 USCF. Yeah, I hear you. Okay, so they go here. I don't want to ruin my position. And it's just kind of like, will I be able to find a way to take advantage of that weakness? And then I did. They stepped in, forked, and now it's just, you know, not super challenging from here. The beauty is, the reason it's so not challenging is because if you look at every pawn is on a dark square. So this bishop is just like, come on, give me a target. Come on, I'll take any target. And I'm just like, no targets for you. I'm just going to go around, make a pass pawn, protect it, and then just gobble everything. And then just, you know, slowly push my pass pawn and support it with a king. And then in the end, boom, we get a checkmate. There's a table for rating conversion in between platforms on ChessGoals. Yes. Yeah, there definitely is rating conversion stuff, but I just don't understand Lichess. Why do it, right? Like, why... I would totally get why chess.com would have had inflated ratings, right? Because then they could be like, look how good you are. Whereas Lichess is not trying to sell you on Lichess. So it doesn't seem to me to be an advertising thing, right? Of like Lichess being like, go come to Lichess, feel better about your rating. I don't understand it. So to me the Lichess rating being 300 points higher doesn't make sense. But I don't know. Apparently full website names are not allowed. Oh, interesting. I did not know that. Okay. Well, I guess now we know. But yeah, to me it doesn't make sense. I know it's because they like start you with a higher rating, and so then that inflates everything. But it just doesn't make any sense at all to me to say like FIDE, USCF, they all have pretty comparable ratings. Chess.com is a little bit higher. And then Lichess is like, ours is 300 points higher. That just doesn't make any sense to me at all. Exactly. And hey, what up? I agree. The conversions seem very rough to me. So, I don't know. I would just rather play on a site where I know I have an idea of what my rating means. Though having said that, I mean, my main rating is my USCF rating, and I don't know what that means anymore. That rating is like, a mess, right? Well, let me rephrase that. It's a mess depending on who you play with. If you play with people whose ratings are wildly in flux, then it is a mess. If you play with, a bunch of adults who've been playing a long time, then it's fine. So like the one club I play at, it's an absolute mess. And the other club, it seems pretty fine. There's only one kid at the club. Everyone else has a very stable rating. Measuring yourself against them feels very doable. I don't know if you guys have heard this story, but at the main club that I had been playing at, I had a tournament recently where I won 2 games. I drew a game in which I played very well, and my opponent did. And then I lost a game against a 2000 in which I played really well, should have drawn it, and couldn't quite hold it at the end. So I went 2 wins, a draw, a loss, and lost 14 rating points. And I was just kind of like, what are we even doing here? Like, I played a really great tournament. The engine gives all my games like 90% accuracy rating or higher. I played awesome. I felt great about my chess and lost 14 rating points. And I was just kind of like, I don't really know what to do anymore. Like, if that's gonna be the case, then what do ratings even mean, right? And they certainly mean something. But I've just tried, especially after that event, I really tried to say, like, I guess I can't put all of my energy into what is my rating, right? Like, my rating is what it is. Like, I have a choice. I can either play at clubs that allow me to get a more accurate assessment of my rating, or I can just say rating is what rating is and not worry about it. It's too bad rating doesn't reflect quality of play. Yeah, it's a weird thing. Like, I get that it would be hard, because like if you're playing a sharper, crazier opening, and there's like a tactic in the position, and you and your opponent don't see it because it's kind of a tough tactic, and it's there for 5 moves, then you both played like a 600 according to the engine, right? Whereas if you play a solid positional game where most moves are pretty good, it's much easier. Like playing D4, almost all of my over the board games are like 89% or higher. Whereas I'm sure if I was playing E4 and there was lots of wildness happening in my games, then that wouldn't be the case, right? So I agree with you, Peter. It'd be cool if there was some way to, like, I don't know, to look at quality of play while then also taking into account all the different factors. That would be amazing. But I don't know how to do that. I don't know if they know how to do it. I'm about to wrap up here, so let's look at our poll and see where we are at. It looks like Endgame Strategy by Shereshevsky is at 50%. Chess Tactics from Scratch is at 33%. And the Checkmate Patterns Manual is way down and only 17%. Poor Patterns Manual. Let me grab this book. Oh boy. I almost had about 10 books fall on my head. Alright. This is the book I'm talking about. Endgame Strategy by Mikhail Shereshevsky. This book is just amazing, right? It's like you probably have read some of Silman's Endgame Manual or whatever it's called, and okay, I want to talk about that in a second. What Pride Fox said about Nocti, real quick. But yeah, this book is just so good, helping you understand like how to play endgames. Like one of the biggest ones is like the 3 versus 2 queenside pawn majority. Just like you have equal pawns and you have a pawn extra on each side. How the heck are you supposed to even play that? Like, there's not a rule, right? Like, well, when this, then this, but it's more just like the feel of how to do it. Book is great. I guess that's what I'm going to review next. I asked you what I should do. You guys answered. That's what we're doing. Okay. Nocti AI has a ratings estimator. What does that mean? Do you mean based on how you're playing on Nocti? Because Nocti's a wild site right now. I'm sure that it will get a lot better. I just just gonna share this. I played a game, and it said my second and third moves were both mistakes. Not like fine, but like straight up errors, and I'm like, these are opening theory. Like, what are you doing? So I even messaged them, and I was like, yeah, well, that's not going to be very accurate, that Fried Foxy, because, like I said, my second and third moves, which are theory, were both labeled as errors. So I even messaged them about it and said, like, you guys might want to look into this. And they answered, and they were great. And they just kind of said, like, yeah, Nocti's a new tool, and we're working on it, and we understand that the engine can be overly critical at times. So I don't know. That was kind of a shocking moment. So I would say, basing your rating on how Nocti evaluates you at this moment is probably not good. Having said that, right, all these AIs are getting exponentially better at a fast rate. So 2 months from now, Nocti AI might give you a really, really accurate rating estimation. So these are the cool tools on the horizon, right? I'm really excited for that day when I can have an AI chess coach that I work with always. Like, every time I'm training, I would love to have an AI chess coach be like, that's a bad move, here's why, this is, I can ask it any question, I'm looking at this position, please explain it. That's going to be amazing. But I don't think we're there yet. But you know what? We might be there soon. Yeah, you should definitely try Nocti. It's a cool tool. It's a cool tool, but it's a work in progress. I feel like, but it could, like I said, 2 months from now we might be like, dang, that is amazing. So that's the cool thing about all these great people putting time into these really interesting projects, that because I think that's what we all want, right? We all want to be able to play a game and go through this review and have it actually tell you why every move is good or bad, right? Like C5, you strike at the center, fights for space and central control is what this chess.com is telling me. And that's, that's reasonable. That's not wrong. But then like C takes D5, they exchange pieces of equal value. It's like, that is not at all helping you understand what's happening, right? That's not what happened. That's sort of what happened, but more what happened is, like, by taking here, they have traded a side pawn for a center pawn. And if you take back in the center and they take here, then you're going to be changing the structure fundamentally, where now you have an isolated pawn structure. And with an isolated pawn structure, these are the elements of it. Like, all of that is what I'm hoping that we're going to get to, instead of a comment of they exchange pieces of equal value, right? That's kind of the dream. Okay. Well, I think that is going to wrap it up, everybody. Thanks so much for stopping by. I will talk to you all soon. Have a good one.